Factually inaccurate. Morally correct. This is Babylon Bee Radio. Our top story. Best-selling children's book author Matt Walsh was rocked by controversy this week after the FBI announced a seizure of over 48 gigabytes of anime from his computer. Walsh, who previously described anime as, quote, satanic, could not be reached for comment because he was binge-watching Chainsaw Man, a show about a man who can turn parts of his body into a chainsaw to hunt demons. According to sources, Walsh became a person of interest for the FBI after speaking at a school board meeting. A no-knock search warrant was issued and his computer was seized, in which the anime folder was discovered. Agent Carl Jurgen.
We found no significant evidence of terrorist activity conducted by Matt Walsh at this time, but in the full interest of transparency, we feel compelled to report that Walsh is a total weeb.
Experts believe the files in Walsh's anime folder show a worrying escalation. Psychoanalyst Claire Cabrillo speculates that Pokemon, a popular children's show about kids who keep monsters in tiny balls and throw them at other monsters, may have served as a gateway to more disturbing programming.
There is clear progression from children's programming like Sailor Moon, a show about magical teenage girls who protect the Earth from aliens, to more adult-themed shows like Attack on Titan, a show about all of humanity living in one large city surrounded by 3 massive walls that protect them from man-eating giants.
It's very troubling. I'm surprised he's married.
He must have locked that down before his secret passion took control.
At airtime, Walsh dismissed the creepiest parts of his anime collection by demeaning anyone who cannot, quote, appreciate fine art. Georgia gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams shocked Americans this week when she insisted we need abortion because, quote, having children is why you're worried about the price of gas. Abrams followed up her comments on Morning Joe, reminding everyone that they can reduce their bills to zero by just killing themselves.
As it turns out, not being alive anymore solves almost all economic problems. And if there are fewer people alive, that means fewer mouths to feed and fewer problems in general. I'm very compassionate.
Abrams' comments have drawn adulation from her supporters, as they are mostly communists who get very annoyed at the thought of too many people being alive. Some even called for Abrams to add an innovative Bodies for Gas proposal to her talking points, with mobile abortion clinics and suicide booths available at all Georgia gas stations for maximum convenience. Other supporters have recommended that Abrams help Georgians struggling with high hospital bills by euthanizing their grandmothers.
We applaud Stacey Abrams' unwavering commitment to raging against the creator of the universe by destroying human life in pursuit of material goods,
said local campaign organizer Lucius Wormwood.
These are the kinds of values Georgians want in public office.
Abrams has since committed to turning Georgia's economy around by implementing a one-child policy. With holiday festivities gearing up at the nation's capital, sources in the White House confirmed that First Lady Jill Biden has chosen her Halloween costume, which will include a white lab coat and stethoscope to make her look like a real doctor. Sources say Biden plans to wear the costume to all parties, photo ops, and important policy meetings this week while demanding everyone around her address her as doctor, which they say isn't that different from a typical week.
Hey, wow, look at that hot blonde physician dame,
said President Biden upon seeing the First Lady in her costume.
I didn't know they made doctors that young. You come here often, little missy?
Biden then attempted to nibble her fingers before being led back to bed. At airtime, sources also confirmed that President Biden will be dressing up as a president with an approval rating above 40%. A spokesperson for Hell has rejected Biden's claim that the U.S. economy is, quote, strong as hell. Jay Rogers, press secretary for Satan, strongly criticized Biden's comparison of the U.S. economy's strength to the underworld.
This statement by Biden is highly irresponsible. The U.S. economy is in shambles, core inflation is up to the highest it's been in decades, real estate prices are tumbling, and the stock market is in freefall. In fact, all asset prices are dropping. Have you seen the crypto market lately?
Many in Hell also took umbrage at Biden's statement. At a bar in South Hell, one of Hell's more posh neighborhoods, several residents watched Biden's statements live and had strong negative reactions. Lenin, Stalin, and Jeffrey Dahmer in particular appeared to find the comments misleading.
How can Biden say that,
said Lenin.
We've got jobs down here. We've had 40 straight quarters of GDP growth.
Experts believe this productivity is due to population growth as secularism sweeps the earth, leading people towards godlessness. Having finally begun his Read Through the Bible in a Year plan in August, local man Lance LaShawn finally arrived at the passage in which God commands the Israelites to avoid their wives for 7 days when they are on their menstrual cycles. LaShawn has spontaneously praised God for his wisdom.
I never cease to marvel at the manifold glory of practical wisdom and divinely inspired scripture,
LaShawn said to his son while both were hiding from Mom.
I don't care what the scholars say. This isn't ceremonial law. This is good old-fashioned common sense. Oh, she's coming.
Scholars often cite the distinction between moral law and ceremonial law when explaining the parts of the Torah that have the potential to confuse modern readers, but LaShawn contends that this passage is, quote, just good sense. LaShawn's comments were condemned by LaShawn's wife as, quote, backward, unprogressive, and I'm not overreacting, you calm down, right before they ran away to a remote cave in a forest. At airtime, LaShawn and his son were huddled in their cave, counting off the 7 days of ceremonial purity to be completed and marveling at God's wisdom in Scripture together. With Ketanji Brown Jackson joining a growing number of women on the United States Supreme Court, Justice Clarence Thomas has taken to wearing noise-canceling headphones to help drown out the incessant chatter.
What on earth do these women folk need to be talking about all the time? Why do you need 11,000 words to discuss whether a man using a girl's bathroom is a First Amendment right? The Constitution ain't that complicated. I can't take it anymore.
Thomas then turned up the volume on his favorite Megadeth album, Rust in Peace, and put his head down, waiting for the ladies to finish their extremely drawn-out legal arguments. Justices Alito, Kavanaugh, and Gorsuch have also found ways to cope with the increased noise level, often sneaking away to the bathroom to smoke a cigarette while waiting for oral arguments to finish. At airtime, Ketanji Brown Jackson and Amy Coney Barrett were still in the middle of an hours-long debate on the 14th Amendment and how it related to what Cheryl next door said on Facebook while they were dropping their kids off at soccer practice. Justice Thomas was still in the corner listening to some pre-Reputation Taylor Swift. In response to overwhelming feedback, Disney has announced a new vacation package in which families pay $3,000 to not visit any Disney theme parks. Currently, only Disneyland in Anaheim and Disney World in Orlando are covered under the new ticketing option. Fans are still required to visit Disneyland Paris.
I am so thankful that Disney is finally listening to its fans and giving us an option to not spend money,
said one Disney fan who lives in her car.
It was getting so expensive to renew my annual pass every year.
Even non-fans like Dusty Rumples of Oklahoma City are looking forward to the launch of the new program.
Yeah, I've just hated taking the family to Disney ever since they snuck that gay kiss into Star Wars. Now, I don't have to. I'm so relieved.
Pre-orders for the new Disney-free vacation package have reportedly overwhelmed the company. According to sources, Disney's been so happy with the program's success, they will soon follow up with options for families to pay $24.99 a month to avoid subscribing to Disney+. Now you're up to date on the only news that matters. Find more fake news you can trust at BabylonB.com. Until next time, this is Austin Robertson, the voice of the Babylon Bee. So long.